Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. It is Friday, which means it is Ironsworn Day again. And today, I think it was today, the Any nominations came out. So I normally don't pay much attention to the Any Awards, but because these things are all basically popularity contests, right? But I did skim through the list of nominees, and I never realized before that they had a solo category. Probably because I never really played solo RPGs before. So I'm thinking it could be fun to try out the solo nominees. So let's just have a look at what we got here. So I don't think I've seen maybe one or two of these names before. I've not actually tried the games. So we have Odyssey of the Giants, Pirouettes, Song of the Scriptworm. I think I've seen this one before because it's for a librarian's apprentice, which so I guess this is more of an adventure than a game. Maybe it is a full game. We have Spine and the Bonsai Diary, which I've not looked at any of these things beforehand, but I think it could be quite fun to maybe try them out. Probably like the week after next. Just have like a themed week where there's 5 games, so just for 5 nights I'll play through, or 5 evenings rather, I'll just play through all of them. And I think that could be fun. I do like the themed weeks. I enjoyed the Morkin week, so having an Any week also sounds like a good idea. And it also feels like a nice way to maybe transition between campaigns. As you may know, I'm focusing on doing like shorter campaigns, like little arcs of things, and rather than doing like more long campaigns now. So I'm thinking if we do the week after next is like Any week, then that means we'll have 4 sessions of Ironsworn. We'll then do Any week, and then we'll switch to the next thing, which is going to be Astro Prisma. And we may come back to Ironsworn in the future, of course. We're not going to wrap up the whole campaign in 2 more sessions. But I think that could be a nice way to do it. And just speaking of trying out new things in general, I finally organised myself. I've come up with a list of things I want to try playing, and I have a tentative schedule of one-shots for the next few months. There's some Cesar Capacli, there's some Black Oath, there's a lot of others. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but I did have to buy a tarot deck for one of them, as I didn't own a tarot deck. So looking forward to that. It turns out that planning things in advance it makes things a little bit easier if you're not staring at a blank schedule on a Sunday afternoon, wondering what to do for the coming week. Anyway, we're here to do some Ironsworn, so let's do that. So our character is Cuthbert. He is a Christian missionary. This is our guy, Cuthbert. Christian missionary to the Ironlands, which is a kind of fantasy Scandinavia, like 300-ish miles north of Europe, across a serpent-filled sea, where the only people who really travel across the sea are the Ironlanders themselves, who come both as Vikings and as traders. So it is quite rare for the people of fantasy Europe to go to the Ironlands, but Cuthbert is there because he believes that he should convert these pagans to the true faith, rather than have them, succumb to the wiles of demons and whatnot. We're not really worrying about historical accuracy at all. It is just a framing device. And last session, we made it to the big town of the area, which is called Mornhaven, and that is where Cuthbert wanted to set up a church, which was his kind of first, like his inciting incident vow. So he wants to set up his church there and begin the serious business of saving the souls of these pagans. We arrived to find a town in crisis where the wells had dried up, and along with the mountain springs that fed them. So we start off on a journey into the mountains, following the dried up riverbed to work out what was going on here. And initially, going from the spark tables in the book, so the good old action and theme oracles and settlement trouble table and so on. Initially we thought this is maybe something to do with the firstborn. So, elves, dwarves, that sort of thing. And that's kind of where I ran with this originally. I decided that There was an old legend that the mountains here were homes to dwarves, and there was some agreement between the people of Mornhaven and the dwarves, where in exchange for like the chief blacksmith of Mornhaven visiting the dwarves every so often, the dwarves would kind of pump water up to the top of the mountain and let it supply the town. And the last blacksmith had died without an heir, and so the tradition was broken, and so the dwarves kind of cut off their end of the bargain. I ended up deciding that wasn't how it went down, so I think that could be a good local legend, but we went with a more mundane explanation, so we decided that there is indeed an underground river in the mountains, but there's a kind of dam thing that would kind of cut off the underground flow and force the water up and down the exterior of the mountain rather than going through the middle of it. And that dam had been broken by someone who is too inquisitive for his own good, a man called Jagger, whose goal is to seek the truth. We didn't end up meeting Jagger, but we did have to deal with his handiwork. We brought the people of Mornhaven together to kind of repair this underground dam, get it fixed, and restore the water to the town. We did do this, but then we actually failed the vow. So we had 9 points on our vow to restore the waters of Mornhaven, but then I rolled a miss on it. So I think I rolled like 2 10s or like a 9 and 10, something like that. And honestly, I just couldn't figure out what a miss meant in this case. You know, on a miss, your quest is undone, and you then either completely clear it and kind of begin again, or you give up. And I couldn't figure out what a miss meant in this case because we had restored the water. I didn't think there was any like greater complication to it, so I ended up just upgrading it from a miss to a weak hit, which meant we completed the thing, but at some cost. The cost I decided was the sudden kind of shifting of water, between the above ground route and the underground route and back to the above ground route caused some collapses in the town, things falling into the ground. And we didn't get any experience for completing the vow, as it was only a troublesome vow we got on a weak hit. That's kind of one of the advantages of a solo game. If you're completely stuck, you can just ignore the rules and make something up, which it might feel a bit less appropriate or a bit more unfair in a group game, but it's also one of the disadvantages, right? In a group game, you'd have multiple people to bounce ideas off, but in a solo game, it's just you, the dice, and some oracle tables. It's potentially also, a further problem with streaming a solo game, because if you're in this situation, and you're not streaming, maybe you're making YouTube videos, but you're not doing it live. If you're stuck, you can just, walk away and think about it. You could go for a nap, go for a little walk in nature, and maybe inspiration will strike that way. But if you're doing it live, you have a limited amount of time, then just need to make something up. So, did that, but maybe there was a way we could have missed this vow completely. Not sure. We then spent some time in the town afterwards helping with the recovery. We forged a bond with the town, so we've got 3 bonds. So we have Mornhaven here. And we established our church, which is our background vow. Not a background vow, our kind of initial vow. But we got a weak hit on this as well, which I interpreted as the church not really taking off. We thought that getting permission to build the church would be like an uphill battle that would involve winning the hearts of the locals, and so when we do get the church, we'll then have a bunch of converts ready to go, and we'll be able to start preaching. But actually, what really happened was, while we did convert some people, the Jarl of Mornhaven just was kind of like, we asked him, we want, to restore this ruined building, use it as a church. He's kind of like shrugged and said, sure, do whatever you want. He didn't really care. We'd evidently made this into a bigger deal in our minds than it was in reality, and so very few people really showed up to the church. It wasn't the great spiritual victory we were hoping for. So Cuthbert is going to have to just keep doing more good deeds to win people over, show that maybe there really is something to this Christianity after all. And we're going to begin that today by going to aid the village of Woodfalls, which is one of the 3 places we stopped at on our journey to Mornhaven. and Woodfalls is suffering from an unseasonable famine. Their provisions are scarce. They told us that the river has far fewer fish than usual. I've decided that probably their farms are also not really producing, because otherwise they'd make up the lack of fish with farming. So that's the situation. We are going to, we'll get up one morning. We'll turn to our companion Kabira and say, well, unfortunately we've not, we've done our best here in Mornhaven, but it seems we need to kind of demonstrate our worth a little bit more. And so let's go and help that village that we passed. We'll go to Woodfalls. I shall... if I secure an advantage, would that help at all here? I don't think it would help at all. So I am going to look, get up at like dawn and look dramatically in the direction of Woodfalls, which is, obviously too far away to see from here. It was a few days' journey away. And Cuthbert will swear that he will go to this village and relieve them of the unnatural famine that they are having, and will draw these people into the faith. So we are going to swear an iron vow. Which does feel a very pagan thing to do. Maybe he's like gripping a crucifix so hard he bleeds as he holds it or something. I don't know. And I'm thinking maybe this is going to be supernatural, the cause of this lack of fish. So, when you swear upon iron to complete a quest, write down your vow and give the quest a rank. We shall say we have here... Oh, my text is very small and my font is wrong. I think it's EB Garmond, maybe? We'll fix it. So... Relieve the famine of Woodfalls. What font have I got here? I have Garamond 36. And it looks bold as well. There we go. We're going to relieve the famine of Woodfalls. I'm going to make this a dangerous vow. I want this to be like a significant obstacle when we do get there. Then roll plus heart. If you make this vow to a person or community with whom you share a bond, add +1. We're kind of making the vow to ourselves. It's in service of our greater mission, so I don't think we get the +1 there. We have 2 for heart. So not amazing odds, but we do have 10 momentum. So we should be able to do pretty well on this. Okay, right, so we've got a 3 on the dice, we have a 1 on our d6, +2 for our heart, and we have a 4 and a 6 for the d10s. So if we just took that, that would be a miss, which would mean we face a significant obstacle before we can even begin the quest. But I can spend my 10 momentum, all of it, sadly, to cancel out these d10s, and just to have the remaining d6. That will become a strong hit. On a strong hit, you are emboldened, and it is clear what you must do next. Take +2 momentum. So we spend all of our momentum, dropping down to our reset, which is +2, and then we gain 2 more because we got a strong hit. So we're on 4 momentum overall, so not too shabby. Okay, it's clear what you must do next. I mean, it was kind of... The first step was clear from the beginning. The first step is we need to actually get there and kind of look around. But maybe we will... I think I'm going to save this until we get to Woodfalls, which we might just do. I don't think we need to play out a journey for it. And maybe I'll interpret this as I discover a clue when I get there. Like, oh my god, this fish has the head of a goat. Clearly there's a demon involved. I don't know. Alright, so let's head to Woodfalls. I don't think we need to go for a full journey for this. Undertaking a journey, because we've already travelled between Woodfalls and Mornhaven. So let's just abstract this whole journey with a single face danger roll, representing any threats that we encounter along the way. So we bid farewell to our fledgling church at Mornhaven. There's maybe like one guy there when we set off. And off we go. So we are heading with... courage, I think. And get a miss. Wow, I'm not rolling well today. Not a good start. Okay, on a miss you fail or your progress is undermined by a dramatic and costly turn of events. Pay the price. Okay, let's have a look at... let's see, is there a good oracle? We've got these turning point oracles. Are these potentially useful? What could be going on here? I think a major plot twist oracle could be fun, maybe. Let's have a look at this. Okay, we have 90 or possibly 9. A dark secret is revealed, or 2 seemingly unrelated situations are shown to be connected. Maybe the lack of water in Mornhaven is related to the lack of food in Woodfalls. Maybe our man who broke the water here, Jagger, maybe he is behind the lack of food in Woodfalls somehow. So how would this be shown? Okay, so Jagger, we know that this is a person who will break things just to see like what happens or how they work. Maybe he's also interested in like Legends of the Firstborn because of the whole thing we came up with here with the kind of dwarves supplying the water in exchange for a deal. Maybe it's not shown like to Cuthberts. Maybe just we learn it out of game that Jagger is behind this. He has gone to Woodfalls in search of something and has unintentionally caused this famine. So let's... how was I numbering these? So I got this numbered 1, this one 2, and this one 3. So it's obviously not session numbers because this is session 3. I'm not sure how I was recording this. Oh well, let's start with 4. Did I give this a little title? No, I did not. Okay. Alright, let's call this Woodfalls. Yep. Okay, so let's just start with some stuff we know. What we, the player, know. So Jagger is behind this too somehow. I'm curious if Firstborn are actually involved this time. I think that'll be pretty fun, so I'm inclined to say yes. Maybe we'll just roll on the Oracle. Maybe it's like another piece of ancient technology that could also be interesting. So I'm going to say it's likely there are actually Firstborn involved this time. $94. Yes, there are Firstborn involved this time. There's going to be like an elf or a dwarf or something that Jagger has presumably, annoyed, and they're punishing the village. It doesn't seem super fitting, but maybe like a combat action or a mystic backlash can kind of help inform the sort of thing that's going on. Provoke a reckless response. Destroy important objects. Leverage the advantage of weapon or ability, or your ritual reveals a surprising and troubling truth. Maybe we'll go and destroying an important object. It kind of fits with what Jagar did here. You know, he just breaks things to see what will happen. So Jagar is behind this too somehow. Get rid of this somehow. He destroyed a thing. And there are actually Firstborn involved this time. And maybe we want... I think we'll probably use the delve rules to like explore whatever has happened here. Like if there's some ancient temple or whatever that's been desecrated, maybe we can delve into it. Just wondering if there's anything else that might be nice to just have ticking over in the back of the mind. Coordinate disease. Ooh, a disease could explain a lack of like a lack of fish and lack of crops if there's like a disease of fish or a disease of, you know, sort of plague thing going on. Okay, so let's see. So the legend with Mournhaven was that it was once a kind of inhospitable, very dry place, but then this amazing blacksmith made a deal with the dwarves of the mountains to provide water to the town in exchange for some task, some service. Maybe we kind of carry on with that theme for Woodfalls. Maybe Woodfalls was also once an inhospitable place. Maybe it was once like a very swampy area. You know, swamps spread a lot of disease. So it's a very swampy area, and a deal was made with the Firstborn. You can work out what exactly that Firstborn was later, to make this place kind of safe. And Jagar has gone and broken whatever it was that made the place safe. Yeah, that's a kind of good starting point. Okay, right. So this all comes from the miss we got on our face danger. We rolled for a plot twist, and the plot twist was that two things are shown to be connected, and so the connection is that Jagar is behind both of these incidents. Not really sure how the timing works out. This whole thing presumably happened before he broke the water at Mournhaven. Maybe he's just like traveling around, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. So he might not even be there at Woodfalls anymore. Is he there? We could roll for it. I think it's unlikely he's there. Yeah, he's not there. I don't think Jagar is doing this like maliciously. I think he just wants to know. He just wants to know things and doesn't really care about the consequences, which, you know, has the same effect. But he's not going around like breaking ancient water providing or disease curing things out of wanting to see people suffer. He just wants to see like what happens, like learn how these things work. I think he probably just doesn't care about people rather than being actively malicious towards people. Right, and they're actually our first one for this time, so elves or dwarves or something, we'll figure that out later. And it's something to do with a disease. So Jagar destroyed a thing that keeps disease at bay. Let's outdent these. Actually, first one, let's say present this time. You know, maybe they've been drawn by this, like feeling the breaking of their thing. Okay, so Jagger is behind this famine too. He destroyed a thing that keeps disease at bay, so the fish and crops are now withering away with some ancient sickness. Jagger isn't there anymore. He just kind of caused this problem and then left, like he did at Mornhaven with the river. Despite travelling around and causing problems and probably leading to deaths, he's not doing this out of malice. He just doesn't really care or think about people. He wants to know how the world works. And the cost, like he doesn't really think about the cost of the things he does. And there actually are firstborn present this time. Let's just say 50-50. Is an elf or... no, let's go for a triple O. I'm going to say the obvious is that it's an elf, being because we just had a dwarf thing. Let's have an elf thing. The option is that it's a dwarf, but then the 1 in 6 chance is it is something else. It is something else. Gonna strain my knowledge of Scandinavian mythology. Like, what do they have that aren't elves or dwarves? That are ideally associated with disease. Let's have a quick Google. Scandinavian mythology diseases. In Finnish mythology, that's close enough. The 9 diseases are the sons of Louhi, the goddess of death and disease. She is impregnated by wind or the waves of the sea giant Meritusas. She names after diseases or disasters. The 9th, a witch, and the worst of all, remains unnamed. Ooh, maybe it's a witch then. Some ancient witch thing. Mentioned in the Kalevala, we have a little excerpt here. I own a copy of the Kalevala. I've just not read it yet, which clearly I should have done as you know, preparation for this this campaign. What do we got here? Thus Loyatar named her offspring colic, pleurisy, and fever, ulcer, plague, and dread consumption, gout, sterility, and cancer. And the worst of these 9 children, blind Loyatar quickly banished, drove away as an enchanter to bewitch the lowland people to engender strife and envy. I'm not going to try to pronounce this. An Eaterus, since it's referred to as an Ogress. Okay. Okay, let's say that our firstborn here is some sort of ogre. So maybe what happened here is that long ago. So initially I was thinking the firstborn that are present here, maybe the helpful sort who put away the disease, but maybe long ago there was an ogre in this place, which spread disease by its very presence, and it was sealed away somehow. Jagger has destroyed the thing that kept the ogre sealed, and so it has broken free, and the countryside is suffering due to this pestilence that it carries with it. So this is a much more fantasy problem than the whole we have a little underground dam thing that broke. So I like this. This is a good thing. It doesn't sound like a difficult problem to solve. Yeah. So let's see. He destroyed he broke the seal on a plague-bringing ogre. Fishmops with ancient secrets. Jagger's not there anymore. Left. Yep. We need a name for this ogre. What do we got here? So we have our Ironlander names. We have our elf names. Elf name could possibly fit. And we have other names. We have giants, Varu, and trolls. Varu are werewolves, I believe. Let's have a look at the main book. Firstborn. The Firstborn lived here long before the humans landed on these shores. The humans, in their arrogance, named this peninsula the Ironlands and called themselves Ironlanders, but the Firstborn gave it names of their own in a time beyond the reach of memory. And just to review the truths of our world, the truth is that, or what is, that's not exactly the truth. What the default of the setting is that the Ironlanders believe that deep in the mountains and in natural places of power, dwarves, elves, trolls, and other such folk can be found. These beings dwell properly in their own worlds and come to ours only rarely and for a specific purpose. That is what people believe. Cuthbert, of course, because he has a Christian worldview, would believe these things to be like demons or something of that ilk. Possibly good ones might be angels. What the actual truth is, don't really know. But the point is, they are scarce and powerful. I think yeah, what was the Varu? Humanoids with fierce wolf-like faces. So yeah, they're wolfmen. The trolls, yeah, let's go for a troll. Let's look at our names list. A troll. So trolls have names like Rattle, Scratch, Wallow, Groak, Gimbal, Scar. I don't know. I was thinking a bit more like mythological monster style. So maybe an elf name is more appropriate here. Let's go for one of those. Okay, we have Sutahi, or Tahuta. I'm gonna go for something slightly different. So I see we have Gamana here. I'm gonna go for Gamana. Okay, cool. So I guess kind of continuing this, if there's some, supernatural force of sickness in the area, it makes sense that it would maybe start with the things in the wild, fish and crops and so on, but maybe when we get there, like a few weeks have passed at this point, maybe the people are starting to show signs of sickness. Maybe the trees are as well. So we go on our journey. Let's start noting things down. Arriving some weeks, let's say like 3 weeks since we were last there, so it's not been a super long time. Then again, we spent like a week in Mournhaven fixing... Yeah, we spent multiple days in Mournhaven fixing the dam, and then we spent multiple days in Mournhaven help him recover. So that's going to be like at least 2 weeks. Let's say 4 weeks. If I were J.R.R. Tolkien, I'd work out exactly what the characters are doing every day in this period, along with drawing things on the map to determine is 4 weeks a reasonable amount of time for everything we've just said. But anyway, so we journey to Woodfalls, arriving 4 weeks after we last visited. When we get there, we see I'm wondering if maybe as a Galderman, if Kabira might notice something, but I think no. Let's just say we get there and it's just really bad, and we didn't have any prior warning of this because we got the miss on the roll. So we journey to Woodfalls around 4 weeks after we last visited. When we get there, we see the people are thin and diseased, with sores and pustules. Are those just different words for all pustules are sores, not all sores are pustules? Okay. It kind of emphasises a bit, right? Sores and pustules. So we journey to Woodfalls, arriving 4 weeks after we last visited. When we get there, we see the people are thin and diseased, afflicted with sores and pustules. The Jarl is... I'm going to say it's 50-50 that he is confined to his bed. Actually, no, let's go for another triple O roll. Obvious will be he's confined to his bed. Option is that he is okay. You know, he's diseased, but he's out and about. Odd is that he's dead. He's dead. A new man greets us and introduces himself as the Jarl. When I ask about whatever the previous Jarl was called, do I have a name for him? No. When I ask about the previous Jarl, his face falls. He tells us the last Jarl sickened and died over a few days. A very fast-acting disease. Sickened and died over a few days in a very fast-acting sickness. Did he maybe go fishing or something? I don't know. We did get a match, not a match, we did get a strong hit on the vow, so I think we have to find a good clue here. So we've arrived to find the situation is terrible. That's the miss on our face danger. But the strong hit on the swearing of the vow. Yeah, let's say it was after he led a group of men to go fishing. So the last Jarl sickened and died over a few days in a very fast-acting sickness after returning from a fishing trip upriver. So this is our clue that we knew that there weren't many fish here, but now we also know that it's not just that there's a lack of fish. There's something upriver which is also making people sick. So this is our clue that we should go upriver. And let's see. What can we do that's useful here? Can we secure an advantage, perhaps? Maybe we could use our knowledge of Leviticus to help gather information about this sickness? Would gathering information be useful? What would be better, securing an advantage or gathering information? Given they're about to go off on a journey upriver. Okay, so securing an advantage would give us a +1 on a roll, or more momentum. Gathering information would give us momentum. Okay, we get a +1 to the roll. If it's securing an advantage, we'd probably be using... Yeah, I think maybe wits. We want to use wits because they're really good at wits. Okay, I think narratively I'm not sure that securing an advantage makes sense here. Like, what advantage are we getting by asking about, like, this disease? You know, maybe we'd learn if you wear a mask, it helps. But I don't think that would really help with our journey. So I think let's gather information. Let's ask around... I was going to say ask around town, but this is a tiny village. Let's talk to anyone who's survived, anyone from that fishing trip who's still alive, and like people they might have talked to or whatever. See if we can learn, you know, exactly where they went, if they saw, heard, smelled, sensed anything unusual, either there or on the journey there or on the journey back. Just get as much detail about this situation as we can. So we're going to, and it's tenuous, but I'm going to I'm going to do this while helping to treat people using my knowledge of skin diseases and so on from Leviticus. So that is how I'm justifying using this lawkeeper thing. So I'm gathering information using a combination of talking to people and things I know about disease to get a +1 on the roll. I don't share a bond with this community, so I don't get a +1 for that, so I'm just rolling wits +1. So we are rolling, we've got a 7, which is a strong hit. On a hit, envision the obscure but helpful knowledge you put to use, and take +1 momentum. Okay, so I guess I maybe did misuse this a little bit. I'm going to skip that +1 momentum because I think I'm really stretching the use of this. So I'm just going to say that, you know, I was able to kind of help the people here enough that they're willing to talk to me and share what they know. So we get a strong hit. You discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Okay, let's say that we know exactly where they went fishing. And did they hear anything weird or see anything weird? I think it would be fun if they did. Let's roll an action. Maybe you know, something was learned. Oh, this is the second 55 I rolled this session. I got the 55 before. 55 was coordinate disease. Maybe there's like a really good fishing spot that we're going to, but they didn't get there because as they headed further upriver, they saw more signs of like plants and animals sickening. So eventually they kind of stopped at the suboptimal point, you know, before they got to the good fishing spot because they were afraid to head up further. So That's what we learn. We learn where they went and fished, but we also learn that the plants become more sick the further, let's say, north it is you go. So there's something in that direction kind of emanating sickness, which is afflicting the natural world. I'm going to count that as a progress on this. I believe that's 2 boxes checked. Okay, and let's say that we just, the description of the place we got is so good we can just get to that place. So we walk upriver, and we find this point where they fished, and we can see, yep, the trees around here, like the plants around here, they're kind of drooping. They look sickly. Like maybe many of them are actually dead. Maybe it looks like worse here now than their description. So it looks like things are getting worse. Like leaves are like crumbling off the trees. They're kind of going all like blackened and stiff and kind of breaking away. Plants are drooping. There aren't any birds or anything around. It's all very creepy. This does seem like a good time to bust out the delve rules because you could go for a corrupted. Tanglewood. Yeah, that sounds appropriate. Okay, right. I believe I got one of these. Let's copy this. Oh, seems to have brought over my progress markers. Let's get rid of those. Alright, corrupted is... Actually, I think I already have these images cut out. I don't need to screenshot it from the PDF. Let's see, cards. This is a theme. Yeah, we have corrupted, and we have Tanglewood. I was muted for some minutes after muting to cough. Oh well. Let's assume that wasn't a very long time. So yes, I think let's not look at any of the pre-made sites. I'm going to stick with my first instincts of a corrupted Tanglewood, even though Hallowed does sound kind of fun. So I think Gamana's not really prison anymore if Gamana is free and is kind of corrupting the place around them, but it kind of fits. We'll go for it. So we have a corrupted Tanglewood. Our objective is to we need a specific purpose, is to discover the source of the resolve the corruption, I guess. Resolve the sickness of the woods. I think let's go for a dangerous site. I don't think it should... It sounds like a pretty nasty place, but I don't think it should be, formidable or above, because that's then more potent than our vow. So I think dangerous is a good, maximization for it. And do we need to fill out any denizens, perhaps? Yes, before you wade into the depths, consider who might dwell in this place and what foes you may face. These are the denizens. Yeah, I don't really know anything about who lives here, but I suppose, maybe corrupted, forest creatures. So definitely an unforeseen enemy. Okay, so one enemy is going to be Gamana, the troll. Now, Gamana could be an unforeseen enemy because there's no way we could know about this, but that would also mean Gamana is very rare. So this commonality rating kind of from the perspective of a all-knowing observer. So I think maybe we'll put Gamana as an uncommon enemy, perhaps. So I've still got some chance of bumping into them. And let's see. Corrupted Beast. What sort of monsters have we got here? Okay, so we could have it's like a full-on dungeon thing. So we could go for like a husk, as just a person consumed by dark magic. Maybe this is like a traveler who got caught in these woods, and let's go on up here. Like a traveler that got caught in these woods, and something really bad has happened to them. We have animals. Carrier newt. A mature adult grows to the length of a horse. Wow. What normal creatures have we got? So thinking it would make sense to have like normal forest creatures that have been, you know, consumed by evil magical disease or something. So maybe let's say we got a bear that can be an uncommon enemy. And these can be like weird, corrupted, diseased animals. So if you were in the Call of Cthulhu Alone Against the Static stream on Monday, there we encountered a deer that kind of had like weird like sores around its eyes. So with that sort of thing, like animals that have weird sores and that just look really in bad condition. What is a gaunt? It is a horse-like creature with a lean skeletal frame. That doesn't sound like an animal. Okay, let's bump up these uncommon enemies. Let's have a marsh rat. Maybe marsh rats aren't like native to the like to this area. It's unusual to see them, but they've been drawn by this like weird corrupting disease thing going on. Sure, let's add a wolf as well. And we can figure things out if we, you know, roll outside of the set. I'm sure there'll be other sorts of common animal that are corrupted here, but that aren't as tough as like a wolf, boar, or bear. Let's add a deep rat as well. Sure, let's just say there are lots of rats around here. Basically, everything good has left this forest. There's just lots and lots of rats. Okay, cool. So we got these guys. What else is going on? Chosen denizens. Okay, envision the sea. You stand at the precipice of the perilous sight. I think I kind of described it already, right? So we've headed into the forest, and as we've gone deeper in, further upriver... Oh, hello, Hime, welcome. Thank you for the raid. I've just been waffling for the past hour, and I'm finally getting into the game. So, what is going on is... we have decided to go on a quest to help a village that is suffering from an unnatural famine, and I've decided that what's going on here is that long ago there was some sort of ogre in this area that was sealed away as the ogre was spreading disease, and we have someone here who's too curious for his own good, someone called Jagger, who is the sort of person who'll just break things to see what happens. He has broken the thing that was keeping the ogre sealed away, and so we have arrived at this like weird, diseased, sick woods, and are going to venture in and see what happens. And Cheeky has got the Great Curse. Very unfortunate. I'm afraid you can't do anything about that. You just will suffer from that curse until tomorrow. Right, so we've got our thing set up. We have a corrupted Tanglewood as our domain. Let's actually do the thing now. So the first thing we need to do is we've discovered a site, and now we delve the depth. It would be nice if there was like a little flowchart or something, but there is not a flowchart, sadly. Okay, right. So it is me, Cuthbert, Christian missionary, and my loyal companion, Kabira, ex-pagan. I think Kabira is probably the foresty person, but what have we got? What are we good at here for exploring a weird diseased forest? Oh no, it says Amaya has checked in 1 times. 1 times? Oh, I thought I fixed that, so I say 1 time. Oh well. I guess everyone will have to, check in multiple streams, and then we don't have to worry about this 1 times thing. But I'm gonna make a note to look at that, because I was sure I had that working. Okay, right. I think we are going to head into this weird diseased forest with observation. I think we're heading in carefully, cautiously. So that would be with wits, and I'm good at wits, so that's good. Oh, I would have noticed I've noticed someone else if it wasn't you. I'll just be being bothered for the next 2 hours wondering why it didn't work properly. Anyway, wits. We have 3 wits, so that is a 5. That is not a good roll. That is a miss, in fact, because we have got a 5 on our d6, or rather a 2 on our d6 plus 3, and we have a 5 on one d10 and a 7 on the other d10. So that is a miss. We could spend our momentum to make it a weak hit rather than a miss. I think I'd prefer not to immediately reveal a danger. So let's spend our momentum. We'll drop back down to our reset of 2. This die is cancelled out, and we now have a weak hit. So on a weak hit, roll on the following table. $96 for the wits. Take both mark progress and find an opportunity. Okay, so it's a dangerous site, so marking progress means we mark 2 boxes. Let's get to another copy of this, and we can help work out let's see, I guess this aspect and focus tables. We can work out sort of where we are. We're also going to find an opportunity. Yep, lots of explanation. Where's the opportunity thing? Here we go. Alright, so we can also roll a feature on here. Okay, so let's roll the D100 to see what sort of feature we've got to. We have a 31, so we've arrived at a dense thicket, which is a dense thicket which is moving, or possibly which has some sort of history to it. So this place is all horribly diseased and kind of actively rotting away. I think we arrive at, so we set off from like a where's my shapes? I want a good old rectangle. So we kind of arrived in from some clearing, and I think where we get to is, what was it? Thickets. Dense thickets. I think as we kind of fight our way through the undergrowth, we arrive at a place where we can see the decay like actively moving. So there's like a tree, or maybe there's like a a leaf. I don't know how to draw leaves. This is a beautiful leaf. It's got, you know, like leafy veins and yeah, okay, this is totally a leaf. Okay, so we find a leaf. Oh, we notice a leaf on a tree, and it's kind of like green on one part because, you know, leaves are green. I've got all like green over here. But it's like actively decaying in front of us, like a crumbly black discoloration, like moving across the leaf fast enough to be seen. So as we watch this, the discoloration spreads further, and the leaf kind of crumbles away as we look. So let's put this over here, and we'll call this like a rotting thicket. So there's definitely something weird and unnatural about what's going on here, because, you know, real tree diseases and whatnot, they don't move that fast. But we found an opportunity. So despite this being a horrible place, something is good. You encounter a denizen who might support you. Okay, might. Ah, yes. Then so right. So we encountered a denizen who might help us, and then we choose one of these. We can either take +1 momentum or make a move and get a +1 to it. Okay. Denizen who might help us. So for denizens, we've got lots of rats and lots of corrupted animals and evil disease troll and zombies. None of these seem great, but I'm kind of curious. Okay, we got a 65, which would be a corrupted wolf. So like a horribly diseased wolf with like sores around its eyes and mouth and whatnot. It looks really terrible. How could this help us? Okay, we are so it's not just my character Cuthbert who's here. We also have our friendly Galdaman, Kabira, who has sworn off their, you know, evil magics, but they presumably still know things about animals and herbs and diseases and whatnot from their time Galdering. And so I think we encounter this horribly diseased wolf, and it's like dying in front of us, which is not particularly pleasant, but that's what we encounter. And Kabira is able to kind of like study its symptoms a little bit. Or maybe it's like recently died or something. The point being, Kabira is able to study the symptoms of this wolf and maybe recognize it as like some sort of hyper-aggressive version of like a more common disease. And this helps us in some way. We put on face masks. The solution to all diseases. Yes. Yes, that is what we do. I should be noting down what's going on. Or maybe I'll just, you know, bullet things up here, and I can, you know, write up the dungeon as a whole when we're done. So, right, so first we found... So first we found a thicket of actively rotting trees, then studied a dying wolf, and I not wolf with an E, that's like the author, Gene Wolf, and determined what sort of disease it was. We need a cool disease name. Cool disease name generator. Here we go. The fancy name generator sites. It is suffering from a hyper-aggressive version of... Oh, these are all terrible names. Fantasy disease name generator. There we go. No, they're all magical. Man, you look for a good disease name generator and nothing comes up. All these random names are bad. I'm not feeling inspired. Just a hyper-aggressive form of some sort of disease. Local disease X, that will do. Okay, yes. And we put on masks. And we cover our mouths and noses, yeah. Why am I taking so many extra E's in words? Suggest we cover our mouths and noses. Okay, cool, that's the advantage we get. This gives us 1 point of momentum. I don't think we can really take action off the back of this, but maybe the momentum will help. Right, and I think that's kind of how the delve works. Yeah, we just kind of roll this delve the depths, and it will give us good things or bad things, and we kind of work through them. I can roll lots of dice at once, so I don't need to pick up extra things. Okay, right, so let's delve the depths again. I think we're still continuing with observation, with care, so we're rolling with wits again. I'm rolling terribly. So that's a 5, so that's another weak hit. And on the table, we get a 54, which is mark progress. Okay, so we just make some progress. We can also roll for where we've ended up. Ah, green. I want red. So what have we ended up at? It is a overgrown path. Okay, makes sense. Maybe this is the path to the fishing place that people from the village are actually trying to get to. And the whole place is just surrounded by dying, rotting plants, and is pretty bad. Let me turn that music down a tad. Just knock that down to... There we go. Okay, so nothing particularly good happened, nothing particularly bad happened. We just, had something, just made some progress, got a new waypoint. This is yet another weak hit with the 7 there. Okay, and the result we get is a 37, which is mark progress and reveal a danger. Okay, so something bad's going to happen now. So we're continuing to follow the river, I suppose, heading further north, and around us, everything's just getting worse. I'm picturing kind of like the zone from Annihilation, where, things are just weird. We have like plants showing, aspects of other plants. We have animals that are kind of weirdly misshapen and producing noises that they shouldn't produce. There's like a smell of death and decay in the air in this overgrown path we're still following. I'm going to reveal a danger, though. It is danger 39. Check the domain card. Okay. So 39 is a trap or a snare. Okay. Do we have a table of traps and snares? That would be nice. We do. Okay. It's probably going to be something we have to face danger to deal with. Maybe it's like an old hunter's trap, because this place isn't like a actual dungeon or anything. It was a normal place until relatively recently. So like a hunter's trap would make sense. Got a 2252 there. So the trap tries to enclose us, and the component is darkness. Maybe the component is a fall, and it tries to conceal us. A pit trap. It's a classic. There's a pit trap here. It's intended for catching whatever animal hunters catch with pit traps. A deer? Could you catch a deer with a pit trap? I suppose you could. Like if you have your like concealed pit, you got your pit here, with like, I don't know, like leaves covering the top or something, and then you have your amazingly well drawn deer. This is a deer. You can see it's very happy. There's got a little tail there. There we go. So you have our deer. It comes running along as deers are wont to do, and then it will step on here and fall down inside, much like this, and then break a leg or something, and the hunter can come pick it up. All right, so we have a pit trap, and I guess this would be like facing danger. We didn't, get like a miss with a match on the roll, so it's not like particularly bad. We do have an opportunity to avoid this, I think. We're not just like falling into the pit immediately and suffering harm. So I think we'll probably have to maybe like step on it, start to fall in. We need to react to speed, agility, or precision to leap out of the way. It's going to be an edge roll, and I think I only have like one edge or something. So not amazing. Yeah, okay. So we're walking along, being cautious, but evidently not cautious enough. Cuthbert steps into an old hunter's trap that is well hidden and does terribly. I can't offset that with the momentum. I think we're just going to take harm here. Cuthbert falls into this trap, unable to dodge it. And so we're going to lose, I guess, 1 point of health here. And suffer harm. Roll plus health or plus iron, whichever is higher. Our health is higher. Okay, cool, that's fine. That is a strong hit. So I could possibly shake this off. I could suffer -1 momentum. I could drop down to 2 in exchange for recovering my health. Or I could embrace the pain, taking momentum. I think I want the momentum. Like, having 4 health isn't the end of the world. So we're walking along, and Cuthbert falls down into this trap, lands, and does not swear because he's a good Christian man. He will say, "By Jove," catching himself at the last moment. He's maybe sprained an ankle or something, but not terribly. Not terribly. Kabira helps him out, and they continue. I think maybe the main downside of this is that it was probably loud. But yes, we remained on this path, and so we'll just continue along. We're still trying to find the source of the corruption, which I think is going to involve the troll if we've not bumped into the troll by then. Continuing the trend of incredible rolls, here we've got another weak hit for creeping along. And a 32 is our result, which is to mark progress and reveal another danger. I think we're maybe at the point where we could try to complete the journey after resolving this danger. That is a 60. You face an environmental or architectural hazard. So the whole place is kind of like diseased forest. Maybe we've come to a field of dense thorns. Which has completely obscured the path. So we can't just keep moving, and they smell of rotting meat. So we really don't want to get pricked by these thorns. Okay, let's add a new thing. So we'll have to cross this thorn field, and then maybe we can try to arrive at our destination. Let's see. So Cuthbert fell into a pit trap. So Cuthbert fell into a pit trap and hurt his ankle, and we encountered a field of thorns. Right, how do we cross thorns? Do we have any useful gear? We could bust out the check your gear move, which we've not rolled so far. So you roll plus supply. I think we're full on supply. No, we're not quite full on supply, but still +4 is pretty good. So maybe we want like a thick blanket or a tent or something that we can lay on top of the vines and kind of like climb across without exposing ourselves to the thorns. It would probably ruin our tent, but it would get us across. Or maybe we have like a sickle or something we can use to cut the vines. I think I'm going to go with the tent, as that seems more likely. That's the first thing I came up with. So we're seeing we've got like a tent or some like other thick material we can use to kind of clamber across these vines. That is a 4 + 4 is 8, which is equal to or less than both 8 and 9. So that is a miss. You don't have it, and the situation grows more perilous, and we can't help here. Our momentum is too low. Okay, so I think that means we don't have this thing, and we're probably going to get thorned. So I guess we don't have what we're looking for, so we start just like trying to hack our way through with like our pocket knives or whatever it is we've got, but it is not going to be sufficient. So let's just have a look at the pay the price table, but taking harm might be the obvious thing to do here as well. But it's always good to consider other options rather than defaulting to mechanical damage. The current situation worsens. I mean, I think not having the useful item is already worse. Friend, companion, or allies put in harm's way. Or you if you're alone. I'm not alone, so my friend is put in harm's way. Let's say that Kabira is nicked by the thorns, and the scratch immediately inflamed and starts burning with the sensation of disease. So we need to solve this problem, because otherwise my friend will get whatever horrible disease it is everyone else around here has got. But we've made it over the Thornfield. Let's just, maybe work out where we've ended up now. A waterway. Okay, so we've maybe made it back to the riverbank, and there's dead fish floating on top of the water, flowing downstream. I think we maybe try to arrive at our destination now, which is probably the place where whatever the magic seal is that kept the troll confined has been broken, and there's probably a troll there as well. Let's try arriving at a destination. So here we have to roll the d10s, and we want to get 7 or less. Okay, so that's a strong hit on arriving at our destination. What does it suggest that means? Locate your objective. Here we go. When your exploration of a site comes to an end, roll the challenge dice and compare to your progress. Momentum is ignored on this roll, so we have done this. We've got a strong hit. On a strong hit, you locate your objective and the situation favours you. Choose one. Make another move now and add +1, or take +1 momentum. On a weak hit, you locate your objective but face an unforeseen hazard or complication. So because we got a strong hit, I think the troll is maybe not there. But let's see. So we arrive at some sort of broken magical seal. I wonder what it could be. Maybe like a stone circle, like a little small stone circle, just big enough to contain a troll, where one or more of the stones has been removed. See, if any of the stones been actively broken, I think that's unlikely. So I'm going to say, yeah, it's very likely. So 26 or above, that all the stones are intact and present. They're just not in the right place. Okay, that was close, but yes, all the stones are intact and present. So we've arrived at a stone circle. Say we got a top-down view is maybe there's let's say 2 have been knocked over here. So it's supposed to look, kind of like a stone rupee. It's supposed to look like this, but 2 of the stones have been knocked over. And I'm sure Kabira knows what this is, because Kabira is very knowledgeable in local folklore. So I can say this is, supposed to protect the place. It's said that if you walk through the center of a stone circle, you will go to the other world where the Firstborn live, and they're not all friendly. In fact, many of them are not friendly. But those on the other side can't come through the stone circle without being invited or something. Yeah, let's go with that. That's a reasonable mythology. Right, so make another move now or take +1 momentum. So we could try repairing the stone circle. If all the stones are present, that doesn't seem too tricky. I don't think that would solve the problem, though. Maybe it would weaken the troll. But the troll has come through and is out somewhere. I think it makes sense that it might weaken the troll, so maybe it's a good thing to do. What's face desolation? Is that when you take spirit damage? I think it's maybe facing danger interacting with these ancient standing stones. That seems reasonable. I don't think my pocket Bible really helps at all in this situation. Or my ability to tell stories. So it's probably just a straight up face danger. But first, I just want to check something. Yep, it should have said 1 time rather than 1 times. Oh well, I'll debug it after stream. But I've confirmed that it should definitely have said one time. Okay, right. Let's face danger, I suppose. To try to put this stone circle back in order, and then we can figure out what to do with the weird diseased forest afterwards. So I guess we're being like strong, which is with iron. Yeah, my iron is a 2. I'm somewhat muscled, but not incredibly so. I'm much smarter than I am strong, but sadly I don't think you can mentally compel stones to get up and float into place. That's a 7. Did we get anything from our strong hits? Add +1, so we're on 8. Okay, so that does make it a strong hits. You're successful, take +1 momentum. Okay, so we both kind of put our backs into it and heave and lift up the stones and like rock them into place. I'm not sure how big these stones are. Let's say that they're this is an amazingly well-drawn person. Let's say they're kind of like shoulder height, so they're not that big. They're just heavy because they're solid rock. So we pick up these 2 big heavy stones and like shove them into place and like twist them around a bit so they kind of get set in the hole they're originally placed in, and they seem pretty solid. I think Cuthbert is thoroughly unconvinced this will help because it's just clearly pagan superstition. Kabira obviously has a long way to go, still believing in such silly things. I think Kabira thinks it probably also isn't going to work because Kabira is going to say, well, clearly because while the stones were down, something bad came through, and whatever bad thing came through is still presumably out there. So we've stopped more bad stuff from coming through, but we need to deal with the current bad thing first. I am going to count this as progress towards the the vow. But yes, we still have a troll out somewhere that we need to deal with. But we can think about that after a short break. I'll be back in a moment or two. Okay, I'm back. One of these days I'll be like a proper streamer who has a actual separate BRB screen. That's for the future. Right, let's quickly just write up what happened down here. So we went upriver to the fishing spots and found the forest dying around us. We continued upriver, seeking the source of this corruption. And saw let's see, we probably encountered like dead animals and stuff along the way. We only really had one specifically show up, this dead wolf that Kabira was able to kind of look at the symptoms of, but I'm sure there'd have been more. So we continued upriver, seeking sources of corruption, and past dying and dead plants, animals, and fish. we saw leaves blackened before our very eyes. I think very is it's an odd grammatical construction that before our very eyes is obviously not being used as as an intensifier in the way very normally is. It seems a kind of meaningless word that doesn't add anything. But anyway, we saw leaves blacken before our very eyes. Kabira studied a dying wolf and determined it was like a natural disease, just unnaturally fast. Just unnaturally aggressive, I suppose is the word. In a field of thorns, Kabira was pricked and began to succumb to something. Finally, we arrived at a stone circle, a disturbed stone circle. Which, according to local folklore, is used to keep the firstborn at bay. Kabira thinks something may have come through. Maybe I agree that maybe I think something might have come through, but the thing I think it is some sort of demon. But yeah, Kabira thinks something may have come through and is afflicting this area, this place. We put the stones back, but still need to find the cause. Okay, I think we can just get out of this place now. I guess finding the troll and doing something with it will be a separate thing. So we found, like, we've completed the adventure site, and the purpose, the goal of the site was to, I said it was to resolve the sickness of the woods. That's like the whole quest we're doing on. I guess it's more like find the source of the, let's see. Maybe resolve the sickness of the woods is okay. We dealt with the root cause, but there is still other stuff we need to do to fully complete our vow. Anyway, we can now escape the depths. So when you flee or withdraw from a site, consider the situation and your approach. Let's retrace our steps, I think. So that'll be a wits roll, and I'm good at wits. I have a +3 in wits. I'd say weak hits. You find your way out, but this place exacts its price. So we had Kabira get scratched by a thorn, and something started to happen. Maybe Kabira just gets really sick over the course of this journey because it's an unnaturally fast, unnaturally aggressive disease. So we make it out, but by the time we do, Kabira is like barely walking. I'm having to like support her. Let's say that she got like scratched by a vine on her ankle or something, thigh, whatever. And like can't put any weight at all on that leg. Like it's just like swollen and red, and there's sort of like all the horrible purple veins around the scratch. It looks like like a snake bite or something. And she's feverish and can't walk. Yeah, let's go with that. So by the time we get out, Kabira's entire leg has become inflamed, swollen. The scratch radiating purple lines like a snake bite. I'm sure this is what snake bites look like. She is delirious. And I'm realizing I don't know how to spell delirious. Yeah, there we go. She is delirious, unable to put weight on her leg. Barely able to stumble along. With my support. So, a bad situation as my companion, who is not mechanically a companion, that is kind of narratively a companion, because I don't have the XP to buy them as a companion, will not be around to help for the next part of the journey, I suppose. They will be in a bed recovering. If you can recover from weird, intense magic disease. So that's how we make it back to town. And the village, rather. We explain. The first thing is make it back to town and get Kabira somewhere. There's probably lots of sick houses around now if this is happening to everyone. Let's see. In a house converted into a sick house. Let's say that the Jarl is sympathetic but seems unsurprised. Not seems, but unsurprised. As, you know, the last people is Firefox gaslighting me? Unsurprised is totally a word. Why is that not in the dictionary? Have I misspelled unsurprised? No, that's the word. Okay, let's add unsurprised to the dictionary. So I deposit her in a house converted into a sick house. The Jarl is sympathetic but unsurprised. After all, the last people who went there are all dead. So, what's my next step on this? So, I know that it is... I think it's reasonable to conclude this is a magical sickness. You know, we've seen a fallen stone circle. I'm living in a world where it's entirely reasonable to conclude that demons did something. Yeah, I think what Cuthbert's thinking is that a demon is here and is causing this. I don't think he believes the stone circle is really relevant at all, except maybe as like a means that the demon kind of gained access. You know, people believed this made them weak, and so it actually made them weak. Maybe that's Cuthbert's thought process. Because if you have true faith, you are invulnerable to the attacks of demons and whatnot. So Yeah, someone with superstitions. That's an opening that the demon can work with. So I think that I'm going to approach this as demon hunting time. So I think probably what I want to do is pray for guidance. It's maybe a little bit late in the day. We've been out on this journey, but let's say we get Kabira like in a bed. She's like sweating and like tossing and turning, and Cuthbert gets down on his knees and prays both for that this settlement be delivered from the demon that plagues it, and for guidance for how he can be the instrument of God's will to do this. So I'm going to secure an advantage by asking God to tell me what to do. So I'm rolling plus hearts. And I got a weak hit, so on a hit it says take +2 momentum. I'm back up at 7, and it's securing an advantage, so your advantage is short-lived, take +1 momentum. So that's still +3 momentum overall, that's pretty good. Back up to +8. So I guess I have an inkling of where to go next, but not necessarily truly firm knowledge. I'm going to let's see, what are demons weak to? Maybe I know that I don't know where this demon is. It's just somewhere out there in the woods preying on the villagers. So maybe what I'll do is I will focus on treating the villagers to try to draw the demon into like a jealousy-fueled confrontation. So I'm going to be spending days in town, kind of tending to the sick, pouring holy water on them, saying prayers, whatever it is you do in this situation. And I think it's going to work because I've been kind of treating like Cuthbert's worldview as the correct one in this world, so that it is an actual demon thing. So I guess that's going to work. So we have this heal move. I suppose that's what we're doing, kind of healing the community rather than a specific person. So yes, I'm going to spend days going about this. So when you treat an injury or ailment, roll plus wits. Can maybe also resupply. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that for now. Okay, so I got a 6. I have got a... Sadly, I can't make this into a strong hit because that 9 is too big. But I can get a weak hit on the healing. Okay, must suffer -1 supply on -1 momentum. Let's go for -1 supply. So I go through my supplies of like healing poultices and whatever else it is I've got on me. So it says your care is helpful. If you or the ally under your care has the wounded condition, you may clear it, then take or give up to 2 health. So I'm not really healing someone in that way. I'm just helping the community as a whole. So let's add another note. So days pass. I spend them tending to the sick. Praying for their salvation. Both physical and spiritual. I feel there should be a third thing here. I spent the days tending to the sick, praying for their salvation, both physical and spiritual, and keeping a close watch on those around me. I intend to draw the demon out. Through jealousy. Because of course, as we all know, the difference between envy and jealousy is envy is wanting what someone else has, jealousy is being afraid someone will take what you have. So the demon is jealous here because those it has made sick are being made unsick. And demons are presumably incapable of exhibiting virtue, so it will just exhibit jealousy here, unable to kind of resist the urge to do something about it. So where are we on the So I've not done anything really about the famine yet. We're still kind of working on this root cause. I don't think healing the people here is going to... I don't think it counts as like a milestone here. I think the next milestone is going to be probably dealing with the demon troll somehow. And then maybe 1 or 2 milestones after that for getting some food or something. Okay. Does it work? I suppose it will work eventually. If we're just willing to wait and see however long it takes. I mean, I'm also somewhat successful in healing people, so let's see. My ministrations are effective, and the sick villagers show signs of recovery. Recovering. Let's look at the description of a troll. I feel like actually fighting a troll is going to be pretty tough. Trolls. Formidable. Long limbs, sunken beady eyes, translucent skin, keen sense of smell, speaks in gibberish. And, as we've decided here, spread disease. I feel just fighting this is not the best move. So we need some other approach here. I don't know, let's do the exciting thing. Let's maybe just fight the troll. So let's see. Days pass. People are getting better. Eventually the demon comes to do something. So let's say that... a terrible roar from the forest rocks the village. It came from no mortal throat. And I know the demon challenges me. Both fears and challenges me. Let's pray for guidance. Give me more momentum. Yeah, let's say my prayers for help fighting demons. Apparently the most relevant verse here is James 4:7, which is, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil and he will flee from you. And we have Ephesians 6:11, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Okay, I shall meditate upon these verses, pray for guidance, and set off to, if not slay, cast out a demon. That's a weak hit. I'm rolling a lot of weak hits. On hit, take +2 momentum, so that's good. My momentum is maxed out. It would actually go up to 11 if it could. But okay, I think I'm as ready as I can ever be. I mean, I could have like an army with me, but I don't know, it's a demon. Armies don't really help with demons. Demons are defeated by holding a Bible in front of you and praying loudly at them. So, a terrible roar from the forest rocks the village. It came from no mortal throat, and I know the demon both fears and challenges me. I pray for courage and set out to confront the beast. I will snatch this village from the jaws of hell. What on earth is going on outside? It's very loud. Not sure if that came through, but there was someone driving very, very loudly outside. Shut the window now. Okay, right, so I pray for courage and set out to confront the beast. I will snatch this village from the jaws of the pit. That's a good way of putting it. And deliver the people to salvation. Okay, not sure it's worth undertaking a journey to get somewhere nearby. I kind of feel like when we leave, as soon as we leave the safety of the village, the demon will come to us. So let's go over to our little combat cheat sheet. Yay! Okay. Alright, so Ironsworn has a number of combat moves, but it doesn't have like a separate combat system though, so it's somewhat interchangeable with the non-combat moves, but at least the way things will start is very much combat specific, and then we'll kind of see how things go. So I think I need a progress tracker. I've grouped all of these together for some reason. Let's get one of these, and let's we have a troll demon. What did I call them? Gamira? No, that's Kabira is my friend. Gamana. Okay. Troll demon Gamana. That doesn't sound like a true demon name. Maybe it is the actual name of this demon. Okay, let's just say yes. So Troll Demon Gamana, they are a formidable foe. So they are very, very tough. We'll possibly just get crushed here like a bug. But we have the Armor of Faith to protect us. Right, so we set out from the village and we head into the forest. I think we don't go very far before we feel like an oppressive pressure in the air. It's kind of like the sensation of being watched, but by something that really hates you. The trees and plants around here seem particularly corrupted, particularly dead or dying or rotting. There's like bugs around, like worms and centipedes, and carrion flies and so on. And there's this like hulking great figure just like waiting for us, which I kind of like the idea that a kind of picture that came into mind is that it's kind of like big, draw a terrible picture of this cool thing I'm imagining. Kind of like big and like hunched over, so it kind of looks like this, just with like arms kind of hanging down by its sides. But I think we can't really like see the head because it's just kind of like in shadow, and its like head is bowed, its kind of head is like here. It's like surrounded by an unnatural amount of shadow, given the time of day. It's just like big looming form, with like hatred radiating from it, like psychic waves of hatred. But we retain our courage and will. Let's see. So we have two ways of beginning a combat. We have enter the fray, which is what you normally use for just like beginning a fight, and then we have draw the circle, which is like a formal duel. I don't think this is going to be a formal duel. So I think we are entering the fray. And this may be a terrible idea. So roll to determine who is in control. We are facing off against our foe, so roll plus hearts. My heart is 2. Okay, that is a weak hit. On a weak hit, I could take plus 2 momentum, but my momentum is already maxed out, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take the initiative. And let's just make a little... Let's have a little token to represent initiative, which we'll put with me. Move this red blob back and forth to just help remember. Oh, actually, I've got this little yes and no here. Okay, so yes, I have the initiative. Okay. Obviously, I can't run at this troll and like start punching it. That's a terrible idea. I'm going to do much what I did when I dueled Kabira. I'm going to take out my Bible and begin loudly reciting scripture at this thing, because if there's one thing demons can't abide, it is having scripture recited at them. Which I guess is kind of a strike, maybe, or like a compel or something. I'm trying to like convince it to leave or something. Let's see what's kind of like happening in the fiction here. So I'm standing like at the edge of this clearing, holding my Bible undaunted, reading loud scripture at this horrible shadowy thing before me. What am I trying to do here? I'm not trying to, I don't just want it to leave and go somewhere else, because that doesn't solve the problem. I'm trying to actually get it to like go back to hell, which I guess is more of a strike than a compel. Which I guess I'm probably rolling with plus hearts here because that's what I'm doing for most of my, religion things. So I'm going to try to strike at it with hearts, which isn't really what the rule says, but whatever. It also doesn't, the rule doesn't anticipate attacking someone by praying at them. That would be a miss unless I spend all of my momentum again, which I think I have to do because otherwise it can just squash me like a bug. So, okay. Spend all of my momentum, make that into a strong hit. Inflicts +1 harm, and I retain initiative. As it's a formidable foe, I get 1 progress per harm. So I check 1 box. I retain the initiative, so... I feel I probably just want to like keep this up until I lose the initiative. So yeah, I'm just going to keep doing that. So maybe it like steps back a little bit under the onslaught of my words. But I've now burned through all of my momentum and got a miss. Your attack fails. You must pay the price. Your foe has initiative. So we have suggestions for what happens when you pay the price. So the obvious thing to do is just say that the troll hits you for a huge amount of damage. But a suggestion that I've seen is you should kind of pair these things up. So you should maybe do like a narrative consequence and then a mechanical consequence. Because otherwise, if you do just mechanical consequences all the time, you'll have a very hard time playing the game. So maybe what happens is what's just going to happen here is it like shakes off. So it was like momentarily like stunned or afraid or something by my boldness and my words, but it kind of shakes that off and just like moves up to me with incredible speed for something its size. So it's like right in front of me now, and it has the initiative. So the consequence was it has now moved into punching range. It's all a player-facing system, though, so even though it has the initiative, I still choose what move is going to happen and roll for it. So I could try to clash, which is, like fight it kind of on the back foot. I would take the initiative back if I get a strong hit. I could choose to just turn the tide, which is where I seize the initiative and make a move, but if I fail to score a hit on that move, I suffer a dire outcome. A dire outcome when there's a troll right in front of you sounds like being punched. Or I could face danger to try to like avoid it. Maybe I like roll out of the way or something. I'm not the most rolling out of the way sort of person, though. Ideally, there'd be a way I could deal with this using wits somehow. Let's have a look at face danger. Yeah, I don't think I can justify expertise, insight, or observation here. So probably I want to clash. So, kind of undaunted by the demon, basically running up to me, I keep reciting scripture at it and hope to get a strong hit with a heart roll. Nope, that's a miss. You are outmatched and must pay the price. Your foe has initiative. Okay, I think it has to hit me. I guess there's two things it could do. It could hit me, or it could, like, slap my Bible out of my hand. And let's see, if it slaps my Bible out of my hand, what happens then? That's what I'm reading from to kind of deal with it. So I'd have to, like, get the Bible back, I suppose. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's say it slaps the Bible out of my hand as it just, like, lands, like, torn in the dirt. And my courage falters. So I need to face danger. I think I need to try to... So I have... me here with my arms up in panic. I have a really short body, apparently. I need to pretend to be Link and, like, roll out of the way. That's the best way to deal with giant monsters. Treat this like a Dark Souls boss. Just roll around. Yeah. Let's try to dive out of the way and grab my Bible as I go. I think probably if I get it, that'll be a strong hit to do both, to get out of the way and grab my Bible. If I just get a weak hit, I guess it's just going to be one of those things. So this is with edge because it's with speed. My edge is only a 1. This is one of the worst things I could do. I got a weak hit, so I do one of those things. I guess the immediate thing I want to do is roll out of the way. So I roll out of the way so it can't just, like, immediately punch me into nothingness, but I didn't manage to grab my Bible. So you succeed but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face new danger. You're tired or hurt, you're dispirited or afraid, you sacrifice resources. I guess what I am kind of sacrificing resources, and I'm not getting my Bible back. So I'll just do that and not take the -1 supply. Okay, so I've rolled out of the way. We're still kind of in the same situation, though. Maybe I do want to turn the tide. It's risky, but... Let's clash again. I don't have my Bible at hand, but I still have, as I've noted down here somewhere, I have like an encyclopedic knowledge of Bible and church stuff, so I can still, be like vocally confronting the demon even if I don't have my Bible with me. So I'm going to go for a clash, and then I think next, if I don't get the initiative, I will turn the tide at that point. Okay, so that's a miss again. Okay, I think it has to hit me now. I've done 2 moves where it's not actually hit me. So it just, like, runs over and punches me in the guts. It inflicts 3 harm. So let's go to endure harm. You suffer negative health. So my health drops from 4 to 1. And then roll either plus health or plus iron, whichever is higher. My iron is now higher than my health, so I'm rolling with a +2. So, weak hits. On a weak hit, you press on. Okay. So it really hurts. But I'm not, not crushed. Maybe I want to just run away, actually. But that's cowardly. I can't be cowardly in the face of a demon. That's the wrong thing to do. I'm going to turn the tide. So as I'm crouched over, winded, I'm going to take the opportunity to dive between the troll's giant legs, pick up my Bible, and begin reading and pointing it dramatically again. So I'm rolling a +1. I'm striking with hearts. So I've got a +3. That's an 8. That is a strong hit. And I get +1 momentum on a hit. So strong hit on a strike. You inflict your harm and +1 harm. Okay, so that's actually 2 boxes. I have the initiative. And I get momentum. Running away might be the better part of valor here, but that doesn't seem like something heroes do. I think I just have to continue. Maybe I can try compelling if things go poorly. How am I at compelling, actually? Probably threatening. Or maybe convincing. I could imagine using either heart or iron for that, so that'll be a +2 on both of those. But yeah, I think I just have to continue striking until it looks like it's not going to work anymore, and then I can try to compel or run away. Oh no, it's another miss. I'm rolling very high numbers on the d10s this week. Hmm. Hello, Pixel. Hello, Boardstoat. You're a little bit late on the yes, a little bit late on the raid message there, but good job for not forgetting. I see. Everyone else is early. I see. Okay. What to do in this situation? Maybe I just get left for dead on the ground. That might be the thing to do here. So I look at the let's see, the endure harm moves. Yeah, I think I'm in a life or death struggle against a giant troll demon, which has already brought me close to death. I think I just have to, take it and be left for dead by this thing. So I'm going to take the harm, drops me down to 0 health. I then roll to resist it. So roll with iron. That's a weak hit, which says you press on. Okay. If your health is 0, suffer negative momentum, you can see any remaining negative health. So my momentum actually drops by 2 as well. I see. Okay, so 0 health doesn't mean you die. You have to have 0 health and get a miss on the endure harm move. Okay. The downside of having 0 health, however, is extra damage you take reduces your momentum, and negative momentum penalizes your rolls. So eventually I am just gonna get a miss on this, but not immediately. Okay. So I've been punched twice by a troll. I'm really hurting. And the troll has the initiative in combat. So I think I want to run away, but in a non-cowardly fashion. So I'm going to try to compel it to, like, flee, I suppose. I'll try to, like, scare it off. So Cuthbert, which is, of course, a very heroic and strong name, is, like, bent over this fist that's embedded in his gut. It's, like, spits out blood. He's like, is that all you got? And then cites some relevant Bible passage about someone being punched in the gut by a demon. And the terrible torments awaiting the demon in hell and whatnot, to try to scare it off. So I guess I'm compelling with iron. Ooh, okay. So this, not only is this a miss, because 4 is less than or equal to 10. This is a miss with a match. So I got a 10 on both the d10s. A match is, you treat it as like a especially intense result. It's kind of like a yes and, or in this case, a no and. So not only is it not compelled, something really bad happens. Maybe it laughs at me. That's pretty bad. I think it just like laughs at me and just like grabs my head and like smashes my face down into a rising knee. So I'm going to take more harm, which will happen as negative momentum. So I'm on -2 momentum now. I think I'm not actually going to die here. I think I'll probably treat the face death. Like if it says I'm dead, I'll probably just upgrade this miss to a weak hit if I do die. Because I want to do at least one more session of this before wrapping it up. It'd be kind of awkward to end on session 3. But yeah, I guess we'll see. So I am rolling plus iron here. I got a 5. That's okay. So that's a 7. That's another weak hit. So I still press on. The troll still has initiative. I think I could try to run away by facing danger. I think it is, give up any pretense of honor and just try to run away at this point. So that's going to be face danger with... Maybe I could justify wits here. Maybe I can like try to watch for an opening, like take a few more hits potentially as I look for a way out. So let's go for that. Observation, sure. It's tenuous, but let's go for it. Oh, that's pretty good. Should have chosen to fight back with that roll. Okay, anyway. That is a 9. Which is a strong hit, actually. So I'm successful. Take +1 momentum. That's good. Means I'm less close to inevitable death. On a strong hit, you get the momentum. Not momentum, initiative. So I managed to like carefully watch for an opening, despite being like punched a few more times or whatever, and do get away. And I seize the initiative, so I guess maybe the troll like stumbles or something as I run by it. And I could maybe just run away at this point. So I can't end the fight. No, I can end the fight because I just got a strong hit. I could try ending the fight, but it's almost... I need to roll a 1 or a 2 on the d10s to end the fight. So that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's almost certainly going to be a miss. But I don't think I can just run away. I think I either have to fight back or try to end the fight. It's a terrible idea, but I'm going to try to end the fight. And if I fail, I guess the troll just, like, kicks my face in and leaves me for dead. Yep, that's a miss. Okay, I have lost the fight, so I guess I'll just reset the troll's health, because I suppose it'll heal up by the time I can come back. It comes over and just, like, pushes me on the ground and stomps on my face. Like a horrible cracking of bones and stuff. And I must roll to endure this damage, endure harm. I think this is pretty much guaranteed going to be a miss. Oh, I got a 6. That's a very good roll, actually. So that is a strong hit. Why am I good at enduring harm but not good at hurting things? Okay. Okay. So I can't shake it off because my health is not greater than 0. I can embrace the pain, though, taking +1 momentum. So my momentum is a -3. So I guess let's just summarize this whole exchange. So what happened was the village is being plagued by the attentions of a demon, literally plagued, and it is making everything sick and spreading disease, affecting the people, the animals, and the plants. I tried to deal with this by treating the people here to essentially cause the demon to lash out of jealousy. That would be my opening. So what happened was, after a few days of helping people here, a terrible roar from the forest rocked the village. It came from no mortal throat, and I know the demon both fears and challenges me. I pray for courage and set out to confront the beast. I will snatch this village from the jaws of the pit and deliver the people to salvation. That's kind of what I set out thinking. But the demon was mightier than I. And let's see, very swiftly beats me into a pulp and left me for dead. It is like a magical disease spreading demon, so maybe I just didn't get a maybe I'm not diseased because my faith protected me in that way, but it was not enough to fight the demon. So that's not a great outcome there. So we have this vow to relieve the famine. We have repaired the stone circle, which was some milestones. I do think we need to defeat the demon before we can get any more milestones here, because it's the demon that's making everything sick. So it could like bring some food supplies, but ultimately we need to defeat the demon to solve the problem. And the demon is too powerful to really fight by myself. Tricky. So if fighting it is the wrong move, which I kind of knew from the beginning, it's a very tough monster, I need some other way of dealing with it. So how do you deal with demons? Here we go, a website entitled What to Do When You Encounter the Demonic. Most of us have experienced moments when we encounter something that could be demonic. I'm not sure about that. Okay, right. A way to deal with demons that is not just fighting them. So looking at the moves for inspiration, because that's mechanically how I do things in this game. Potentially there's something I can find or do elsewhere that would compel the demon to leave without needing to like directly confront the demon again. So the demon got into this place by coming through this broken stone circle that we've repaired. So that kind of suggests if we banish it in some way, it presumably can't come back. We could maybe, let's see, if we like consecrate the whole village, it wouldn't be able to enter. Then it might just lurk around outside to catch people when they leave. And that also doesn't help with the diseased forest. But I think I'm onto something with that idea. Like indirectly fighting it, making everything around here something that it can't touch or interact with. That could be a way to do it. I think that's maybe a little bit beyond one person, though. So maybe I need to find a way to heal my companion, and then we can set off on this joint task to do this thing. So if we have this large area we want to consecrate, so we've got like a kind of like village in the middle, and we've got like a kind of river going along here. We've got the coast somewhere down here. And it's all like foresty area. If you can kind of make it to the edges of the corrupted area and like go around the whole thing, kind of doing something at the boundary of the area, maybe that can force the demon to leave this place and go far away. That could be good enough. You know, I kind of fought it because I wanted to like compel it to go back to hell, but maybe we can't do that. Maybe that is beyond a mere man. Maybe all the best we can do is just get it to move on and go somewhere far away. Which means the actual next step in our quest is somehow healing my friend, who is delirious and whose leg is possibly rotting and about to fall off. In fact, there's a way I can interpret this horrible defeat positively. I could treat it as a lesson in humility. Who am I, a mere man, to think that I could deal with a demon? That's the province of like angels and Jesus and so on, and saints and whatnot, and I'm just a man. Clearly, I was thinking above my station. I should not even have attempted. I am using Miro as the infinite whiteboard for this. It is, it's like business software. It's got no RPG stuff built in whatsoever, but it is a good virtual whiteboard, and it is free for having up to 3 boards. So I just have one, which I'm putting all of my stuff on. So you can see I got all of my previous games up here as well. And I think it's either infinite or so big it may as well be infinite. I use it for my home game as well, because it also deals very well if you have a lot of stuff on it, whereas I found other tools like Owlbear Rodeo, they kind of lag when you start to like draw like giant dungeon stuff on them. So yes, I recommend it. Let's put a note here about learning from my hubris. I meditated on my failure while recovering. Wondering why I was unable to vanquish this demon. Was my faith too weak? No. This must have been a lesson in hubris. A lesson against hubris. I was attempting something above my station. And God saw to it that I would be humbled. I'll be shown my place in a non-fatal way. And if you've decided in advance that everything is part of the divine plan, you can really justify anything. It's great. I should not try to confront it directly. After coming to this realization, I decided I should sanctify this village so it cannot intervene anymore. This is the best a mere mortal can do. Okay. So, let's see. We're approaching end of session time. Let's try to heal up Kabira, and then, like, next session we can set about, walking around the bounds of this, like, growing, corrupted area of the map, and, like, sprinkling holy water or whatever it is you need to do to make a magic demon abjuring circle. So I guess we are healing again. But this time we're just focusing on our friend Kabira to do that. So I'm going to... So Kabira has this like swollen, diseased leg from being pricked by an evil thorn. I'm going to just like slash it open and pour holy water into the wound. That'll do the job. It really does the job. Sanctifying the whole village is more than one man can do. I need Kabira's assistance. So I went to her sickbed. She was showing no signs of improvement. The wound on her leg, the swelling on her leg, had got worse. With my knife. This is a really gruesome mental image. I slashed open the leg. And poured holy water upon the sickness while invoking... Oh, who's the patron saint? There's got to be a patron saint of, like, sick people. Patron saint of lepers, that would be a good one. Let's see. Saint Damien of Molokai. A Belgian Catholic priest. He is centuries too late, but that's fine. That's fine. He ministered to a leper colony in Hawaii from 1873 to 1889. Patron saint of lepers. Okay. And died of leprosy himself. So I slashed open the leg and poured holy water upon the sickness while invoking Saint Damien. The wound closed before my eyes. And the swelling began to abate. The next morning, Kabira was able to walk. And we praised God for the miracle. Sure. Okay, so next thing to do is walk around the bounds of the village, sprinkling holy water or whatever it is we do on it to cast this demon out. But that can be a thing for next week, I think. And hopefully will be enough to, relieve the famine. But I guess we'll find out. All right, so we'll wrap it up here. Next, so tomorrow, I'm going to be having a look at Rift Breakers. I'll be playing through the kind of like intro character creation thing. As I'll probably be playing more Rift Breakers in the future, so I want to give that a shot. And yeah, I have plans for what is coming after that. But I'll reveal those plans in due course. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let's see, is there anyone we should raid? Let's see, does anyone have any suggestions of someone to raid? Let's see what is going on for like tabletop games or something. Let's have a look. I don't know any of these people doing tabletop RPGs at the moment. Yes, I'm not sure. Maybe we won't raid anyone unless someone has a suggestion. Yeah, I guess I guess we'll just not raid then. Sad, but it is what it is. Clearly, that just means I need to become more familiar with more streamers. So there's always someone online to raid. Okay, then. So we'll end it here. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.